Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Shoegazer channel, where we talk about effect pedals, exciting music gear, home production and more, all around the beautiful noise and otherworldly soundscapes. Have you ever thought about stuff like sample rate or bit depth? If you have, then this effect pedal that I'm about to show you could be interesting for you. If you never have thought about stuff like that, I may have to explain a little bit here. In video editing, you may know the term frame rate. This video has a frame rate of 30 frames per second. That means that it takes 30 pictures to make me appear moving. In audio production, it's similar. Let me show it here in Ableton Live. This is a shoegaze guitar recording. And you can see here, this is the waveform of the signal that I recorded. So when I zoom in, I can see the details of the sine wave. So it's a little bit like quantum mechanics here, smaller and smaller, and I'm stretching it. And the more I zoom in, the better I can see those little dots here. And these dots are snapshots. It's just like in video editing. Every single snapshot here is a part of the audio signal that I recorded. We call this samples. CD quality, for example, is recorded with a sample rate of 44,100 Hz. That means it takes 44,100 points per second to create that sine wave. The more samples are created to represent this audio signal that I'm sending into the interface, the higher the quality is, because we have a better resolution. Then there is another thing that is called bit depth. This defines how good the resolution is of one sample. It's exactly like with your TV. The more pixels you have, the better the picture is. 20 years ago, they used less pixels to generate this picture. If you're using megapixels, your picture will appear very detailed. Nowadays in music production, we use a bit depth of 16, 24 or even 32 bits. 16 bits, this is a commonly used bit depth for every song that you hear on streaming platforms, for example. 24 is a much better resolution. The same goes for 32. You will keep much more information of the original signal that you recorded. What is interesting about this, the higher the details are, the more high frequencies you're hearing. The lower the bit depth is, high frequency information gets lost. What also means that the signal appears warmer. And this is especially interesting for experimenting musicians out there, people who are sampling. There are so many artists out there who like the vintage sound and who like the early 12-bit samplers from the 80s. They still use it because they get this grittiness, that distinct warmth and that lo-fi sound. And talking about vintage gear, do you remember the Alesis MidiVerb 1 and 2? Yeah, I guess if you're a shoegaze fan, you may have heard of them. These are effect racks that produce very beautiful reverb and delay sounds. Iconic bands like My Bloody Valentine have used them. Alesis MidiVerb racks are quite hard to find. You can buy them second-hand or third-hand. They can be pretty inconvenient for live use due to their bulky size and their improvable bypass scheme. But you are lucky, because the kind sponsor of today's video, Maneco Labs from Uruguay, has developed an effect pedal that runs on the algorithms of the MidiVerb 1 and 2. It's called the Shoegazer 12. You may have guessed it, the pedal runs on 12 bits, so it has a strong personality and is very noisy. Analog modulation and variation of the global sampling rate is easy here. You can even do dive bomb reverbs and delay bands using an express pedal. According to Maneco Labs, there's only one downside. The pedal is very addictive. The Shoegazer 12 Lo-Fi 12-bit reverb has 8 programs. They remind us a lot of the Alesis MidiVerb Rex, which was made intentionally, of course. So the first 4 programs, 40, 41, 42 and 43, are based on the reverse reverb from the MidiVerb 1. And the last 4 programs, 44, 45, 46 and 47, are based on the bloom setting from the MidiVerb 2. What should I say? Let's finally check out how it sounds. I'm playing this beautiful candy apple red Squire Jaguar. It's quite modified. I bought it used on eBay. It was a bargain, so I had to do it. And it looks pretty cool. And I'm playing into a Fender Princeton 112 Plus amp. Yes, I'm saying 112 Plus because now I know the 112, as I used to say it, stands for 112-inch speaker. So yeah, I should have known that, but I didn't, and I don't care. So this is my clean signal. And this is program 40 of the Shoegazer 12. So in the top left corner you can see a pitch control. It controls the sampling rate for the whole effect, allowing smooth pitch shifts and other tricks. It has an expression pedal input here. And there is a blend mix knob, which is very useful. You can turn it up to 100% wet. Or you can turn it off completely. Alright, then there is the soft focus control. It adds a layer of modulation like chorus, phaser and vibe, for example. And it's active on all 8 programs. And it works independently from the pitch control. Then there's the program selector. So for the 8 programs, there is a silent pause between changing the program. That shouldn't bother us actually. Below the pitch control is a tiny potentiometer called tone. If I turn it completely to the left, the signal gets a little warmer. Turn it completely to the right. The signal has more high frequencies, and if I leave it centered, yeah, it sounds very nice, balanced, smooth, warm. I really love the sound. I mean, wow, that's so shoegazy. I must admit I have never used the MidiVerb 1 because I was always told that the MidiVerb 2 is the shoegaze rack to go. But I remember those sounds here. They remind me a lot of the MidiVerb 2 as well. Alright, then there's a rate control. So it controls the speed for the LFO that allows global pitch modulation. So yeah, let's see what that does. Ah, and I think you can also control the rate by tapping. Then you have a wave selector, so you can choose one of 8 different waveforms here. So maybe let's check the next preset, maybe we hear more then. The first preset was called reverse long, now we are in reverse medium. The reason why we don't hear that much is because I haven't turned up the depth. Okay. Let's try more high frequencies. And by the way, you can see here you have a foot switch that is called slow. And that allows you to reduce the sample rate to half, which is really cool because, as you know, if you use a bit depth of 12 bits, reducing the sample rate causes very gritty, noisy sounds. Whee! I also connected the expression pedal, so let's check out what that does. That's really nice. Oh man. Program 42, reverse short. Let's go back to the normal setting. Okay, I turn up the blend a little bit. Oh, as you can see, we have also a freeze foot switch here. Woo. Yeah, very cool. So the freeze foot switch holds what's in the memory buffer, allowing for infinite effects, as you know it from other effect pedals as well. The freeze knob won't work in setting 45. Yeah, pretty nice. Let's check out setting 43. That's the last reverse program from the MidiVerb 1 algorithm. It's called Reverse Regen. I try to use the depth control again. Let's use some distortion here. I'm using my Thrashmaster FX59 by DoD. Very old thing. Alright, so clean again. Depth back to the normal setting, and now let's see what the MidiVerb 2 algorithm does here. 44 is called Massive Bloom. Woohoo! I just freeze it. What do you think? I think it's pretty amazing. You can definitely hear the gritty, bit crushed sound. But you can also see when I'm using the 100% wet version of this effect, then I have a quite long decay before you can hear anything. I mean, I'm It takes a while. But it sounds very beautiful, like a digital ocean or something like that. With distortion. You don't have to do much, just play a chord and see what happens. Alright, 45 is called Classic Bloom. Without distortion. And dive bomb. Sounds like slow dive, really love it. Alright, 46 is called Bloom Delay 1. I'm really in love with the slow button here. This is very nice for experimenting and just recording sounds and samples and do something interesting with it. Alright, so let's check out the last program, 47, Bloom Delay 2. So when you freeze the effect and you use the expression pedal, you can pitch the frozen part. This is nice. That means the freeze effect, including the expression pedal, acts a little bit like a tape looper. That's nice. So let's try to imitate some glitchy tape loop effects. Pretty cool. I could do this for hours, but I don't have enough video storage. Alright, so yeah, that's basically the pedal. How do you guys think does it sound in comparison to the original MidiVerb Rex? Would you like to use it? I mean, I definitely would. I mean, look at these little skulls here on the knobs. That's kind of nerdy and trashy at the same time, but in a cool way. It looks like a little time machine. I really love it. Thanks to the guys of Maneco Labs for sending me this pedal to test it. It's definitely a perfect shoegaze pedal, and all the sample rate and bit depth nerds out there, you should definitely check it out. And I hope I see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. By the way, I'm about to release my first album, my debut album with Uncanny Valleys this summer 2023. So if you're interested in what kind of music I'm making and how it sounds, feel free to follow me on YouTube, Uncanny Valleys as well, and also on Instagram, or just check out my music on Spotify. And if you're interested in what I'm doing behind the scenes and you want more information about everything I'm doing every day, you can become a member of the Shoegazer squad on Patreon, where I also share digital assets like impulse responses of rare reverb pedals and Ableton Live templates for shoegaze sounds, my complete music catalog. Feel free to check it out, and I see you next time, guys. See you later.